Welcome everyone to 7 Minutes or Less, talking about the shows you love and want to get into. Today we will be talking about a series of unfortunate events, seasons 1 and 2. That's right, I'm doing yet another double review as I did the Santa Clarita Diet before and now a series of unfortunate events. Because a series of unfortunate events has now a second season, which is now late on my behalf because things have taken a turn for the worse. I am a late reviewer. So, before you proceed into this review, please stop listening before I go into my thoughts, because I know you won't like it any more than I do. But, if you must insist, this review will not be full of spoilers, just commenting on the content and quality of the storytelling as 2 seasons have passed for the series of unfortunate events, and it's time to tell others who should watch it, even though I encourage you not to. This is the tale of the Baudelaires, who unfortunately lost their parents in a mysterious fire, and the 3 orphans are placed with a legal guardian named Count Olaf. Olaf, played by Neil Patrick Harris, is determined to make the Baudelaires' lives a living hell, trying to kill them so he can inherit the family fortune. Even though it doesn't start off that way, that's the plot pretty much instantaneously after the first part doesn't work. Meaning, spoilers! I regret to inform you that this is pretty much the plot for 2 seasons, and it is a literal interpretation of the books. Or so I think. I've never really read the books, and I'm sure they are pretty similar in likeness and humor, along with repetitive storytelling, for 2 seasons. It's a story that repeats itself to make a point and becomes more than the story it's telling, while the repetitiveness starts to become something more than just a lazy way out of storytelling. But this is indeed a series that has a lot of irony, repetitive storylines that add something new in disguise of something that has happened that you have seen before, that quite as obvious as I've already explained that. I can say the single film that came out back in 2004 will always have a special place in my heart. It's sad to say that movie never got the sequel it deserved, but the series places those episodes that were condensed within the film and expands upon them in this series, giving them a proper treatment than ever before. So the first season might come off to you as familiar, just longer. But the second season you might find the repetitiveness a bit much, as the next set of episodes in season 2 follow the same formula. Baudelaires are placed with the Guardian. Olaf follows in disguise. Despite the triplets telling anyone who the Guardian that they're with, it's Count Olaf, unfortunately they're just not believed. Guardian proves useless to Olaf's schemes, something happens, and then I mean this quite literally, repeat. First season does that for each 2-parter it has, and then season 2 starts up the same way up until the first 2 parts. Just when you think you know where it's going to go, the story begins to change, and the Baudelaires not only realize the kind of situations they are in and how no one will ever believe them, but there are plenty of things for them to find out, like what were their parents a part of? What part did Olaf play in the organization? The many questions it poses in each of these episodes begin to answer them and then tease you with the inevitable outcome of a cliffhanger. Inevitable, which means certain to happen, unavoidable. And yes, the show does that too, telling you words and phrases that you may not know and explains it in a nonchalant way or repeating itself throughout the show. For instance, Lemony Snicket is the show's narrator, narrated by Patrick Warburton, who I am a huge fan of, by the way, and he explains and tells the story his own way, as he claims to be a part of it as well. He tells the story of the Baudelaires in his on-point comedic timing with his nonchalant voice, his care for words, and personal involvement, which I just said, only with a little more explanation. He will be explaining and describing a moment, saying something like, "Our characters found themselves in a particular quagmire." And when those characters are seen, they immediately say, "We're stuck in a particular quagmire." I feel that this is an excellently made show with spot-on performances, and I mean everyone does a great job. You may think I'm being vague, but I'm really not. From Neil Patrick Harris, who I think does an excellent job doing numerous performances and disguises while maintaining his own persona, seriously, he does a wonderful job here, to a baby they choose to play Sonny, who has a lot to do with physicality, from an infant to a toddler, and basically anyone who's part of Olaf's trope and the Guardians that were chosen. They're wonderful cameo appearances here. And I should probably praise the crew that are behind the scenes. I am seriously impressed with the production value and time that went into these 2 seasons. I look forward to the 3rd and final season, as I have quite literally right now, in this very moment, have run out of things to say about this season. If you can get past the repetitive storylines, the obvious storytelling, the narrator speaks to you on telling you the obvious and forewarns you not to watch further, I think you're gonna have a good time with this show. It's funny, charismatic, gorgeous, even in its unlikely of settings, well shot with spot on performances. I'm going to give A Series of Unfortunate Events Season 1 a B, and I'm going to give A Series of Unfortunate Events Season 2 a B+, as I found it to have a little more confidence and stronger humor as it found its footing. Have you guys seen A Series of Unfortunate Events? If not, I urge you to check it out, or not check it out, and enjoy all the little surprises this show has to offer. I seriously wouldn't be surprised if some of these scenes were improvised. I'm just going to throw that out there because there's so much that I don't think would ever be in the books. And so many of these guys look like they're just having too much fun not to keep in. And improvised means created and performed spontaneously without preparation. Oh, you know what that means. I'm gonna go now. This show really got in my head. Thank you all so much for watching. I enjoyed the hell out of this, and I hope you do too. Comment below and let's talk. If you're new to my channel, I do TV show reviews in 7 minutes or less, movie reviews talking about the trailers to films of new releases, and universe reviews where both TV shows and movies come together and set up a universe. If you like what you've seen and heard here and want to see more, please like, share, subscribe, comment, and I will get you more videos in the future.